Hi, I'm going to show you how to make a gluten-free, egg-free pie crust. You can use it for pies or pot pies. It's adapted from the Pie Academy recipe for gluten-free crust by Ken Hedrick. Regular pie crusts usually don't call for egg, but almost all gluten-free ones do. I'm also dealing with a nut allergy, so we cannot use almond flour, which is another common sub. So the first thing that we have to do is make our gluten-free flour. And Ken's recipe has you using 2 cups of white rice flour, 2/3 cup potato starch, 1/3 cup tapioca flour, and 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Now this will make more than what you need. So what I do is I make it all into a bowl, and then I measure out what we need for 1 9-inch pie crust, which is 1 1/3 of that mixture. I use the extra for another pie crust and for dusting my surfaces. So once you have your 1 1/3, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And what I do is I put it right into my machine. So we're going to add flour, the salt, and the sugar. So, a tablespoon. So once you've got your tablespoon of sugar, your 1/2 teaspoon of salt, I just mix it just a little bit in the food processor to make sure it's all mixed together. And I'm going to stick the lid on and pulse it a couple times. Alright, so that should be all mixed up. If you can see it. There, that's a little better. Okay, so then the recipe calls for 1 stick of unsalted butter, cubed and tossed in flour, and then chilled in your refrigerator for at least 15 minutes. I did this about an hour ago, so my butter's all ready to go. This is how it should look. So not a hard thing. What you're going to do is you're going to take your super cold butter and sprinkle it around your flour mixture. I'll show you. Okay? And now we're just going to pulse it until it's small crumbs. Alright, I'm going to show you what it looks like again. See? So it's just a crumbly mixture. Okay? So, the last step is the egg replacer. Now I'm using this. It's Namaste egg replacer. It's made from tapioca starch, arrowroot starch, citrus fiber, cream of tartar, sodium bicarbonate. A lot of times I use an flaxseed egg replacer, but for this, I think you'd be able to see the flaxseed, and I'm kind of liking the way this bubbles. So what you do is you mix I just spilled it, 2 teaspoons of the egg replacer with 2 tablespoons of warm water. Now remember, we don't want to put anything warm in here. The original recipe calls for 1 egg, and you add cold water until it equals 1/3. So I just made my egg replacer into a 1/3 cup, and now I'm going to add cold water until it's filled. So it's the same amount of liquid going into my egg, or to my crust. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my chute here from the food processor, and I'm gonna pulse this egg in, or the egg replacer in. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to show you what it looks like so you know. This is what it looks like. It's not all the way ready. But what you're going to do, and this is the important part of the video, you're going to understand what it should look like. Okay, we're going to take more of our flour that we mixed in the beginning. And we're going to dump this on here. Hold your blade. Get any of the stuff that didn't mix in, because you'll be able to incorporate it a little more. Alright, I dropped some. That's alright. So, we're gonna form this into a dough. Alright, so you can already see it's coming together. See? We're gonna smush it together until it's all one piece. And you want to kind of do this quickly. You don't want your dough to be too warm. Okay? Now, if you've ever made a dough before, what you do is you make a ball, and you form it into a little disc, okay? And you want to make sure that it's not sticking. If it's sticking, use a little more of your flour to make it not stick. This dough is nice and soft and fluffy. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap it in cellophane and then stick it in a plastic bag. And when I'm ready to use it, I can press it into my pie pan just like any other crust. And you can cook it for 15 minutes at 400 with it lined with rice or beans or pie weights. And then another 15 with your temperature reduced to 375. And then you can fill it with, let's say, chocolate pudding or whatever. Or you can follow your recipe that you're using it for, like apple. And that's it. Gluten-free, but awesome, egg-free pie crust.